YouTube, welcome back. Here we are working on this 1949 Ford 8N. Here's one of the things I picked up. Really all I needed, pretty much all the gaskets I guess I needed. This here I believe goes to the governor. Don't really need that because I didn't take it off. But everything else I need. So that was a good thing to get. Got a cheap tune-up kit. Points, condenser, looks like a rotor, plugs, and a couple gaskets. It's in this box. 12 volt coil, I think. Yep. Got me, this looks just like a regular front mount, 12 volt coil. That'll be good. What else we got in here? Planning on doing a full rebuild, and I kind of had the budget for it, so I didn't cheap out on parts. Well, I tried not to. This is the Zenith carburetor. Crazy expensive. I don't buy carburetors very often, so to me it was crazy expensive, I should say. Then over here in this box here, can't show you right now, or not that I can't, don't want to pull it out on the camera. New radiator. So I was wondering if that came with a cap. I forgot right after I ordered it to check. And I looked on there and I couldn't find if it said it had a cap or not. So I was like, I'll just wait. And then if it doesn't come with a cap, I'll just use the original cap and I'll go buy a seal for it. Or I'll make something work until I order one. But it actually did come with a cap. It's not the original style that fits over top of the, it's like long shaped or whatever. It's not like that. It's the, just like a regular radiator cap, octagon shaped or whatever. So it's been about 3 weeks, no, maybe 2 weeks, I don't know. Something like that. And back here getting to this, starting to learn a little bit more and trying to figure out what else I need. And I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna clean this head up. And I got the manifold back. One of my good friends there, he's a machinist. He milled it down for me pretty quick, so excited to get that back. And we'll get working on this stuff. So we'll catch you guys back in a little bit. Well, if you guys can hear me over the air compressor, hopefully you can. I'm just using this little the yellow, it's like a plastic I guess or whatever, just to clean the old gasket material off. There's not really much material there because it was a metal gasket, but just kind of whatever's stuck. It's basically how dirty it was before. This is how much I'm cleaning it up now. Just gonna check and make sure it's true. I think we already did check it once, but nice to check it again after you get it all cleaned up. And I did see a repair here, but luckily it's in actually a good spot. It looked like I did a good job because I can't catch my fingernail or anything on it. So, but there's plenty of room for the gasket to seal before that. So one of these is going to be tapped, probably that one I think. I'll clean up all these bolts from the wire wheel before I put them back in. But yeah, working on that. We'll get this cleaned up and kind of go from there. Oh, just about done with the video clip, and air compressor kicks off. So we'll get back with you guys here in a little bit. Alright, so you see all that crud in there? Every time I change a spark plug or anything, that crap falls down in there. So what I'm using is switched over to this round one, and it kind of spreads apart. Just clean off all the paint. You're never gonna see it anyway. Not that I'm restoring this tractor, but I'll get it all cleaned up like I just did this one. Just to get the big chunks out of there, then I can run through and check the threads too. Clean off all the big chunks of stuff and maybe clean inside this water jacket. But get back with you in a bit. So here I am cleaning up on the block here. It's confusing with parts because I've never really worked on a flathead motor before, other than like a little Briggs or something. So I would consider this the head, you know, because it's got the valves and everything. But anyway, here working on the block, or whatever you want to call it, I guess. Just getting stuff cleaned up. I don't know if I ever showed you guys how decently clean it is. You can still read the Ford on top of the valves and stuff, so everything's pretty clean. I mean, I did clean the gasket surface a little bit, but I haven't cleaned the pistons or anything like that. So you know it's in pretty decent shape. There's no ridge at all really on the cylinder, so must be in pretty decent shape. No slop. And cleaned the head all up and double checked it. Well, I didn't double check. I just checked it really for the first time because it's the first time I checked it with no dirty old gasket stuff on there. And it was warped pretty good, like 11-12 thousandths in some spots. So I took that down in the morning to the machine shop and see what we can do about getting that milled or planed or whatever you want to call it. And then we'll be ready to start reassembling parts. So got these side parts all clean last time. All these gasket areas here for the intake and exhaust. And now just trying to get the rest of this little crap off the head and start getting ready to clean up some bolts and some nuts and whatnot. And gotta figure out this wiring too. So got quite a bit of work to do. Trying to figure out everything. Got you guys on the tripod here, so hopefully you can see all right. But yeah, slowly but surely, a lot of cleaning. Trying to do it the right way, so gotta get a bunch of stuff cleaned out. So we'll get back with you guys here in a little bit. So bam, there you go. Through the power of video, I guess. It's 2 days later, or a day later, I can't remember. 2 days later, I guess. And took this down and to a local machine shop and had them plane it, which is all ready to go back together. Just started a fire, getting it warm in here, and then we're gonna go ahead and start putting stuff together. I got it covered up because I got it cleaned off pretty good the other day. So be on to adjusting valves, or at least checking them, make sure they're a little loose rather than too tight, and then reassembly. And I think I have everything I need to put them back together. So we'll get back with you guys here in a little bit. Sorry YouTube, I forgot where I left off. You got 3 or 4 people here trying to help you. It's hard to do anything without, everything turns into a debate, you know, rather than having time to do video and do stuff the right way. So first thing I did was check the valves. They were all good. If anything, here are loose, which I'd rather loose than tight. Nothing you really can do other than grind the valves. So new valve cover gaskets in behind there. The manifold was planed, so we'll just put a little bit of red RTV, I mean a very, very little bit, on the engine side, just to get rid of those casting flaws and a little bit of rust that was there. Let it tack up for a couple hours actually, just kind of sit on there and put them finger tight. I just tightened those. Slapped on the new Zenith carburetor. Trying to go through the wiring. I don't know anything about wiring. I don't claim to know anything about wiring. So trying to figure that out. Trying to get a hold of somebody to come help me with that right now. See what else. Slap the 12 volt coil on real quick. That's brand new. To match everything else, it's already 12 volt. So once we get that wiring, figure out everything should be good there. We torqued all the head bolts down. Of course, we cleaned everything, blew out all the valves and whatnot, put the new head gasket on, and then cleaned up all the studs and cleaned up all the bolts, and some of them came out. Some of the studs came out with them, so we had to heat them up with the torches in the vise and get those loose. And then, of course, clean everything up. We only had one out of all of them. We only had one bad bolt, which was this one. It wasn't a bolt; it was a stud. The top of the stud was stripped out, and being an oddball 7/16, we just didn't have anything laying around, so I had to go get a 7/16 bolt. And so that should be alright. Torqued them all down. Did this right sequence. Started with like 20 pounds, 18 or 20 pounds, up to 40, and then all up to 70, 75, whatever I said. I slapped on the new oil. Not new. I just slapped on the oil canister. Got it all tightened up. Just kind of going through and doing a little bit at a time, making sure everything's done and tight. So I'm getting ready to start messing with putting the alternator on. So we'll get that on. Hopefully I can remember how I put it on. And then just don't want to put the radiator on quite yet, because I want to make sure everything's good with these points and distributor. Everything's in the front. It's hard to get to, so I want new plugs. So I'll get back with this. And sorry I didn't do too much videoing, but it's coming together. That had us scared there for a little bit. Well, had me scared. That one bolt, because I was hoping it wasn't. It was stripped on the top where the nut goes on. I was afraid it was stripped on the stud down in the block, so that would have been more of a pain in the butt. But I got lucky, so we'll keep moving on here. I'll quit jibber jabbering and I'll get back to work. See you guys back in a bit. Alright, so I got my alternator all on. I went ahead and deleted this. Sorry, I got you guys on the stand, so you're going to be all goofy. There was a wire going here. This is a resistor for when you do run 6 volt. So I just bypassed it. This wire I went here. You guys can see that. I just took it off of here, took this wire off, and then ran it directly to there. Basically what I did was these 2 wires, I just connected them together. But rather than having 6 different connections, I just made one connection here. What else did I do? Pulled the new radiator out, put the cap on, or not the cap, the shroud on. That was pretty easy. I did have to do a little bit of trimming, which it says right in the thing when you buy it. This originally came down to here. I just trimmed it so that this line would fit. Because that line on that one comes at an angle, you see. This one, so it fits through this slot. So just deburred it and hit it with a die grinder real quick. And then I used the original screws. I lack one. One was missing on each one, but as beat up as this thing is, it shouldn't really matter. So the difference is that one has bolts that go up through. They bolt in. And what this one has is these slots. So you got to put something down through. So Grandpa went over to look for a couple carriage bolts. That way they won't turn once you put them in this little slot. When we get that done, I'm gonna go grab a bite to eat and then see what we can figure out with this wiring. I think I got it figured out. I think it's correct the way that it is now. But I do want to be sure. Gotta draw the oil out of it. Put new oil in. I got the battery charged. That should pretty much be it. I drew those manifold bolts down, put the carburetor on. I gotta go over and grab the portable gas tank that I'm gonna use and grab my oil. So we'll be back with you guys here in a little bit. Alright guys, so I haven't got water in it yet. I put the little gas tank up there. I don't know if you can see it. Just a little, same one we used last time, the little lawnmower tank. Happened to be a bolt hole right there. So I'm gonna put that in there. We'll see if she'll start. I'm not gonna let it run very long, but doesn't have any water in it, so see what happens. Well, there. Sounds like she needs a little bit of tune on the carburetor, but that's just right out of the box. I didn't even I didn't adjust anything at all, so that makes me pretty happy. Here's some funny noise in the front, but it's the something to do with the alternator of the belt or that crooked old fan shroud. So do some double checking there on clearances and stuff. And now I'm gonna go buy some oil. I did change the oil. I just threw some cheap Walmart oil in it just to get it to run. I didn't know what it had in it from before, so I'll get oil. Alright, so just real quick guys, I had to make this piece up here. Well, I had to make it up, I found it. The one that was on there was for some reason different. Just a different carburetor. Must have been a little bit, must be a little bit bigger on the intake side, I guess. But, so I had to find this piece of scrap. Not a big deal. Just had to find that and whatnot. Now I gotta spin this so it's out of the way of that. But I just put some antifreeze in it, so we're gonna do that. I gotta look up somewhere online I found a thread where there was a couple of tuning tips or whatever with this particular carburetor for an 8N. So go ahead and give that a try, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so I ran this thing for a few minutes and tooled around with the little carburetor adjustments. Didn't get to run perfect, but it's making a little bit more and more sense the more reading I do. I grew up, unfortunately, in an era, a time when carburetors aren't very common. So I kind of hate it when I get stuck working on them because I honestly don't know a whole lot about them. I don't really know what I'm doing. I understand the concept, but it's something I definitely like to learn more about. But anyway, so what else I did, which the bottom radiator hose is getting warm, so the engine is getting up to temperature, I believe, but the top isn't. And this is also something that's warm from here down. See if you guys can see me from here down, but the thermostat's like inside here. I've never seen that, so I'm gonna do some research on that. Maybe get a different, I don't know if it comes in the hose maybe, or if that's something that someone just did. So do a little research, gonna get a different thermostat. I don't think this one's opening because it's spewing out the overflow. Not a lot, but after it actually got warm, it started to, so I didn't run it long. What else am I doing? Just doing a little bit of cleanup right now. And now, I'll take you guys over here, shake you all around on the stand, or the tripod I should say. Starting to work on this. Give me a second guys.